Hello. We'll be starting our video momentarily, but before we do, I'd like to take a moment to talk to you about opportunity cost. Now that's a term you all know because you took AP Macro over the summer. Each one of you has an opportunity cost taking this class. You could have spent more time sleeping, could have spent more time out in this beautiful weather we've been having. If you had gotten a job at minimum wage and worked there instead of spending your time here, you'd have about $460, give or take. I trust it was worth it. Enjoy.
Good morning, elves and elfettes. Today on Santa 6, we continue to report on the devastating recession hitting our economy this summer. We go to the big man himself for comment.
Holy crap! Our economy is bad.
Santa is meeting with his top economic advisors this afternoon to devise a plan of action. More at 6.
Alright, Santa, so to start off, let's get to the basics. Ever since we switched from a command economy to a market economy, our production has gone off the charts. It's been crazy. So we start off with our resource market, which gives the households, your elves, money, and then we consume the products such as your reindeer meat and cookies. And then that comes to revenue to the toy-making businesses, and then ultimately they provide money to the resource market. The opposite way, the households provide the resources with land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurial ability. The resource market gives the businesses resources, and then goods and services circulate through the product market and back to the household. Does that make sense so far?
Oh, yes it does, young man. Ho, ho, ho.
Alright. So Santa, we need to start off with our production possibilities curve. As you can see, our curve right now between toy production and reindeer meat it's bad, Santa. Look at this. We are right here. We should be up here. We need to be productively efficient. We need to use all of our resources to the best of their maximum capacity. Do you understand?
Oh, yes, I do.
Then can you explain to me why you ran over Rudolph?
That was an accident,
Santa, I told you to move your sled. You ran right over him.
Technically I did move my sled.
Santa, you don't understand. That has drastically impacted how much we can distribute each year.
Okay, what's the next? Let's move on. What's the next chart?
Our Phillips curve, Santa. Typically, inflation rate and unemployment rate are inverse, as you can see by this downsloping curve. But a series of aggregate demand shocks and a supply decrease has moved us simultaneously both up with inflation and unemployment. That has caused stagflation. Do you understand what that means?
Yes, I think I do.
Okay, Santa. We're going to move on. Okay, Santa, so the production has been declining over the past few months due to the fact that we finished Christmas, obviously, and we're working toward the next one. We're in the depths of our largest trough. Typically, it happens in July.
Well, what about our Christmas in July program?
Santa, we both know that's not going to work.
Oh, I think
nobody would propose something like that.
Well, I did.
Well, at least there is a estimated jump in our production due to the amount of reindeer meat we are exporting to foreign nations.
Well, I do love me a good medium rare reindeer steak.
I'm glad, Santa. I'm glad you're killing our workers. But hopefully, even though that's probably going to be a temporary thing since the reindeer will either run away or fight back, we'll be back to a big trough in October, but by Christmas we'll be back at our huge peak, which is really what's driving our economy.
Excellent.
Okay, good. And here we have some aggregate demand and aggregate supply curves. If you look at here, this is what we are striving for. We want our long-run aggregate supply, our short-run aggregate supply, and our short-run aggregate demand all intersecting at one point. That is equilibrium. That means we are working at full employment. Do you understand?
Yes.
Good, because that's not what's happening.
Oh.
What's really happening is that we are in a deep recession. There's a long-run aggregate supply to the right of where short-run aggregate supply and short-run aggregate demand intersect. That means that we are not working at our full employment and that we are working below that output.
Understood.
Good. Do you understand why the heart's there? Because I'm confused.
Oh, well, I'm sure that just means everyone's so loving, and I know this recession is tough on the workers, but they still love me, I'm sure.
Santa, you've been receiving hate mail for the past 8 months.
No, I haven't. That's confidential. Have you been reading my mail?
Santa, everybody reads your
That's
mail.
a federal crime.
Santa, you've been convicted 3 times of felony.
No, I haven't. Next graph.
So there are 2 kinds of inflation when we look at specific items. If we focus on toys specifically, we'll see some drastic issues. Demand pull inflation is less worse than cost push inflation, but neither of them are good. This was when people want more products than we actually have, meaning that our price will increase, and so will our quantity. However, with cost push inflation, we'll have a lesser supply, therefore we decrease the amount that we produce, but we actually increase the price, which is bad since there's severe hyperinflation in the North Pole right now.
Oh, well, let's get to the inflation later. Why is our supply getting more expensive?
Well, Santa, you know what happens when you malnourish your workers?
Oh, they're fine. They're all right. I was just talking to them earlier. They're happy.
Santa, you paid them to say that.
No, I didn't. They're happy.
You bribed
They're
them.
fine. Let's move on.
Okay. Another issue, our exchange rate actually puts us in the hyperinflation area.
Hold up a second. Let me put my glasses on for this.
Santa, have you not been able to see anything I've been showing you this entire time?
I've been able to see that you're annoying. Ho.
Okay, Santa. Santa, you do understand that your economy is about to crash.
Ho, no. Let's do something about it.
Okay, well, first of all, we're going to have to change our currency somehow. You decided that we were going to use cookies for currency, which doesn't make sense for 2 reasons. First of all, we eat them, Santa. We eat our own money. Secondly, Gresham's law takes place when we only have oatmeal raisin cookies left, and that's all that's in the circulation, and no one wants those.
Well, what happened to all the chocolate chip cookies that were circulating? Oh, yeah.
You ate them. You ate all of them, Santa, in the course of 2 weeks.
My bad. Ho.
Okay. Well, right now, 1 cent in U.S. currency is equal to 100 cookies, Santa. We have to change something. So, I think that we should bring in maybe a famous economist over here. I was thinking John Maynard Candy Canes.
Oh, I've never heard of this guy. Let me consult my naughty and nice list. Oh, Mr. Bates is on the list. I guess that Goodwill donation wasn't enough. Let's see. Oh, there he is. Yeah. Let's bring him in and see what he has to say.
Okay, cool. Good luck, Santa. I hope you can fix our economy.
Thank you.
Hello, Mr. Claus.
Ho, how do you do?
My name is John Maynard Keynes. Some people call me Candy Canes, but you can just call me John. So basically, what we're looking at here is some models that I've made over the years to explain why we might be in a recession right now. So long-run aggregate supply would probably be way over here, and that's where we would be at if we were at full employment. But right now, since aggregate demand is so low, we are way behind that. And the only way we can increase that is by increasing aggregate demand. And we can do that by using the multiplier effect to our advantage, as you can see on this graph. So this 50 billion increase in aggregate expenditures right here, that would be an increase in government spending. And then that would be multiplied by 10 because the marginal propensity to save is 0.1. And so you would have a 500 billion increase over here in disposable income, which would increase consumption and basically everything, and it would probably bring us back to full employment eventually. So basically, you need to increase government spending.
Well, thank you, young man. We'll implement these changes, and I'm sure they'll be totally successful and nothing will go wrong.
Okay. Good working with you, Mr. Claus. Good evening, elves and elfettes. This is your evening economic report. After meeting with his economic advisors yesterday, Santa has decided to implement an expansionary fiscal policy based on the theories of John Maynard candy canes. Over the next 2 months, he will be increasing government spending, most significantly by once again attempting his infamous Christmas in July stimulus package. Despite concerns about the adverse effects of such a policy, such as the crowding out effect, Santa is confident in his decision, saying, quote, "Nothing could possibly go wrong." This has been your Santa 6 Economic Report. Stay tuned for a report on several missing reindeer.